Those news updates for you after we get to what happened last night, which closed out week number 12, the first Monday night football game in Indianapolis in 7 years. Jeff Saturday's second home game. His offense did not look good early. Matter of fact, didn't have a single yard in the first quarter. Not one. Not one. A couple of Matthew Wright field goals for the Steelers, and then a Najee Harris touchdown. He would later go to the locker room. They'd rule him out. They're calling it an abdominal injury. The Steelers lead 13-0. Zaire Franklin, Jeff Saturday lay into the team at halftime. They get a kickoff return to open up the third quarter. And then when they are driving here late, looking to take the lead, that is late third quarter, the botched exchange, that kind of night between Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor. But they get back in the red zone, and they get into the end zone here. With a Michael Pittman Jr. touchdown, the Colts take the lead 17-16. Fourth quarter. Kenny Pickett's backed up to open up the quarter on his own 26-yard line. And he gets a drive going. On 3rd and 9, look at this catch by George Pickens. 15 yards, kind of a coming out party last night for George Pickens. And maybe the Steelers' best drive of the year under Kenny Pickett. Benny Snell punches it in with Najee in the locker room. But Matt Ryan still had a chance. This is kind of a head scratcher. Look at the clock. Matt Ryan scrambles. I don't know about the spot, and Ryan didn't like the spot either. But they let the clock run. It's ticking and ticking and ticking. And finally at 30 on 4th down. This is what you have? This is how it ends? No, there is no flag. Steelers win. Big win for Tomlin and Pickett, 24-17.
There's a lot of positive to take from it. And, it's really hard to win in this league. And, right now we're a 4-win team right now. We have to own that, and we got to chip away at it and get back to winning. And, this definitely was the start. So there's things we got to build from off this game and take a lot of positives from it.
He's getting better every week, and it's in a very natural way because of experience. He's a competitor. He's smart, but it's still a lot of meat on the bone, and it's just the process. But like I always say, he's good enough and we're good enough to win while that happens. And so we're not grading him or us on a curve. We acknowledge that he's very much in development. You can ask me next week, and I'll tell you he got better in all areas again next week, because with each snap becomes exposure, and sharp guys that are competitors, they grow from those things.
They grow, and that's what I think we saw last night from Kenny Pickett and from George Pickens and the Steelers. Steve Wyche and Brian Balding with me to wrap up week number 12. I think, Steve, if you look at it, and I said it during the highlight, that might have been that touchdown drive that ended with Benny Snell and George Pickens on the two-point conversion, the best drive we have seen from Pickett this year.
Yeah, not just because of what they did on that drive, but because of when it came in the game. I mean, the Colts had just pulled to 17-16, and then you showed that play, the 3rd and 9, the throw to Pickens. Pickens dropped one just like that earlier in the drive. So then he converts. Now everybody's rolling. They convert on another 3rd down to Pat Freiermuth a little bit later in the drive, and then they score on a 3rd down. But then the clutch throw for the two-point conversion as well, that was huge. It seemingly was huge because it put them up by 7, put some pressure on the Colts to come down, score a touchdown, and convert the PAT. So I think the poise he showed, I thought he showed poise the whole game. Again, some of his receivers dropped passes a couple times, but at that moment, Baldy, for him to come up with a drive like that on the road, let's not forget that, and deliver like he did, that's got to be super encouraging for the development of Kenny Pickett and the faith that his teammates and coaches have in it.
Steve, it all goes together. I mean, they ran the ball really well last night. They had a commitment to it. Even when Najee went down, Benny Snell, McFarland, they found different ways to do it. And I thought it gave the offense a lot of balance. They don't always do it. They ran the ball real well a couple weeks ago. They did it all right against Cincinnati. They're getting better up front. And it showed last night from the very first play of the game. We all know how big Najee Harris is. You want to get Najee to the little guys. In order to get him to the little guys, you got to take care of the big guys. Like double teams at the point here on this inside zone. Very good, shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot. Now you can get Najee onto the little guys where he can use his size and his power. And then, look, Kenny Pickett was a part of the run game. You're going to see McFarland go out of the backfield here. The linebacker goes with them. It's a light box, Steve. So now you're going to get a hat on a hat. You get a core 4 right here on the middle linebacker, and Kenny Pickett takes a quarterback draw right up the middle. And then you get Benny Snell right here. And like everybody has to do their job. Even Freiermuth on the backside. Even get that end on your hip. Just give him a little bit of a cutback lane, and now get him to the safety. Nice run by Benny Snell, getting a real opportunity. And then McFarland, he's always been a quick guy. He's got some good vision right here. They come back to this inside zone right now, and they get good push. And he's breaking tackles, running through tackles. And then when they got down to the goal line, like this is what you want with Najee Harris. Excellent job of pushing right here. Now, once Najee makes the cut, now he's got the safety. He's got Kenny Moore over here. He can handle those guys into the end zone. Same thing here with Benny Snell. Good cut right off Dan Moore for the touchdown. 2 touchdown runs. I thought it really complemented the development that Mike Tomlin saw, that you saw, Steve, that we saw from Kenny Pickett. And when they run the ball as effectively as they did last night, this looks like a totally different football team.
172 yards rushing last night for the Steelers. Pickens said after the game that he and Pickett are learning, like they're getting there. And I think we saw that last night. The Steelers have won 2 out of 3. Now, the flip side of that is what the Colts put out there. They did show some life in the third quarter, but it was ugly out of the gate, and it was ugly at the end of the game. It is very easy for us to sit here from the couch and question game management timeout usage, right? People on the sideline have a far more difficult job. But nobody can make sense of why Jeff Saturday didn't call timeout after that long Matt Ryan scramble on third down. Jeff?
I thought we had plenty of time. I wasn't really concerned. We still had timeout, so I wasn't too concerned. I really wanted, when he was going down, I couldn't tell where they were going to start him from going down, right? Like if he was going to get the first down, and then we got there. I expected us to get on the ball and have another play a little bit quicker than that. But again, this wasn't a press for time. We just didn't make enough plays.
All right, again, very easy, Steve, for all of us to sit here on the couch and yell, timeout. Hey, come on, of course you got to call timeout. But this one just doesn't make much sense.
Guys, he was a center. He knows clock management, right? As a longtime player, he knows how to do this. But then you think about how much time they just burned, because they had a very effective drive. They started this drive with almost 4 minutes on the clock. So you've got assistant coaches. You've got people who see the pacing of this, right? And then Matt Ryan, he hits the long scramble and kind of gets it going right there. There's perfect time for a timeout. Okay, then another play, Jonathan Taylor, no gain on the run. Okay, what are you doing here? What exactly is going on? And so somebody's got to be in his ear, coach, timeout. Hey, timeout. You got 3 to burn. Timeout. It doesn't happen. But let's not get it twisted. The Colts did not lose this game, Baldy, because of this bad clock management. It didn't help. They lost this game because in the third quarter, after a spectacular drive, Jonathan Taylor fumbles the ball on an exchange on the Steelers' 1 yard line when the Colts are going into the end zone. That is not on Matt Ryan. Baldy, we were talking about it earlier. Let the ball get into the basket. Fundamental drill from day one when you start playing the position. He reaches for it. They lose the ball. The Steelers recover. They don't get an opportunity to score. That is the bigger issue than the clock management.
Well, the clock management is an issue. I mean, Matt Ryan, I saw Matt Ryan call timeouts like that as a rookie in 2008, Steve. Like the quarterback can take control of the game. He doesn't need Jeff Saturday to do it. He knows these situations from the very beginning of his career. The fundamentals down on the goal line, it's been a big reason why this team has gone backwards. Jonathan Taylor is too good not to clamp that ball in that situation as he's going into the pile. Probably going to score behind Quentin Nelson on the play. So they're getting beat by the basic fundamentals of the game, and they have not played well up front at all defensively. Cam Hayward had his way last night with the offensive line. They haven't played well. Highsmith had his way. They haven't played well on an offensive line that is highly paid with Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson and Braden Smith. Forget about the rookie. The rookie's the rookie at left tackle. But I thought Jeff Saturday would come in and really help fix this offensive line. I thought that would be his biggest contribution, and we didn't see it last night.
No, we didn't. And while that one play, didn't decide the game, it would have helped. Call timeout here. Alex Highsmith said afterwards he could tell by the depth in the backfield where Jonathan Taylor was, can tell by the O-line. Look, he knew they were running. He blew up Bernard Ryman there, blew right past him, and made the stop. Jeff Saturday said it didn't matter. It did matter, and this kind of felt a little bit like the Denver game, right, where Russell Wilson threw the pick in the end zone, Stephon Gilmore, where you were saying they're going to somehow pull this out. Not deserve to win, but they're going to pull this thing out in prime time. But they didn't, and at the end, the Steelers did, and they have won 2 out of 3, not the Colts. Thank you, Steve.